Hello, welcome to my presentation. My name is Saba Nouri, and today I'm going to talk about some Canadian business laws components, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. There are four requirements of a legally binding contract. The first one would be offer and acceptance. There must be a clear and unequivocal offer by one party and a corresponding acceptance by the other. Both parties must agree on the same terms without any ambiguity. The second requirement would be intention to create legal relations, which is, for example, social and domestic agreements like casual promises among friends may lack this intention. This can also be shown by use of formal language like I agree to, and it is important because it shows the seriousness of the parties' intention to accept both benefits and obligations of agreement. The third requirement would be consideration, which is the most important one in my opinion. So it means what each party to the contract gives up or promises to do to form the contract. In the other word, like each party must provide something for value, something of value, whether it's goods, services, or money, or a promise to do. And also the last requirement would be a legal capacity, which all parties involved must have the capacity to enter into the contract and indicates they must be of legal age and have the mental capacity to understand the terms of the contract. Now let's consider a simple example of entering into a legally binding contract. Here is the scenario. I'm looking to hire a web developer to build a website for my business. First, I, as a client, approach a web developer and offer to pay them $2,000 to build a website for my business. And a web developer accepts my offer. So, which is the first requirement. The second requirement would be both I and the web developer intend for a legal agreement. The nature of the transaction is business related, indicating the intention to create binding contracts. And the third requirement would be the consideration. And the consideration here is the payment of $2,000 from me to web developer and in exchange for his services in building the website. The last requirement here is like assuming both I and web developer are of legal age and mentally competent. We both have the legal capacity to enter this contract. These are requirements of a valid legal contract related to the scenario above. In the context of hiring a web developer, it's advisable to include a limitation of liability clause in the contract. This clause helps define the extent of financial responsibility each party bears in case of certain unforeseen events or issues. Now the question is, what are the reasons for limitation liability? The first one would be risk management. Web development projects may encounter unforeseen challenges such as technical issues or delay. This clause helps manage and allocate the risk between me and as a client and the web developer, preventing expensive financial exposure. And the second one would be, I say, realistic expectations. This clause encourages realistic expectations by setting a predefined cap on the damages that the web developer would be liable for. It promotes fairness and a balanced approach to potential losses. So, while an indemnity clause could be relevant in specific situations where one party agrees to compensate the other for specific losses, a limitation of liability clause is generally more commonly used in web development contracts to provide a fair and reasonable framework for managing risks and liabilities. So imagine in this scenario that the web developer fails to meet the agreed open project deadline, which causing financial losses for my business due to delayed website launch and marketing plans. The most appropriate form of ADR for this dispute is mediation. The reasons for that is like first, I think it's preservation of relationship, which mediation focuses on collaboration and finding mutually acceptable solutions, allows both parties to express concerns and work together to find a resolution which can help preserve the business relationship. The second one would be cost effectiveness and efficiency, which mediation it is more cost effective and quicker than litigation. Litigation, sorry. And the third one would be it can provide a private forum for discussing sensitive issues. This can be valuable for both parties and allowing them to openly address concerns without fear of public disclosure. And so also, if we want to say that the advantages over litigation, we can say that litigation is more time consuming and costly. And in contrast, mediation offers a more collaborative, cost effective approach and flexible and better suited for resolving disputes. Let's move to another part, which is part number two, and let's start another scenario. Hello, Sarah, my friend. I promised to help you in your moving to your new apartment on Saturday. So we can say that this promise is without expecting anything in return. And this is a gratuitous promise because it lacks the elements of a contract, especially the requirement of consideration. In this scenario, first, there is an absence of consideration, which I help my friends without expecting any payment or benefit in return. Let's say there is no exchange of something valuable, which is a key element in forming a contract. Then the second one is an informal nature. Usually, gratuitous promises are often informal and based on personal relationships. And then there is no legal intention here, which unlike a contract which requires the parties to intend legal consequences, a gratuitous promise is made without the expectation of legal enforcement.